All right, welcome back, everyone. All right.
All right.
I'm not on all these Insta celebs level yet where we can just have the continuous live.
What's up with that?
They always end at the worst time. I'm like, and then you can't really like. It had that timer of like 2 minutes. I'm like, how do you even like interject and?
Yeah. Well, I'll try to be shorter winded because as went, like we got D Nice on, everybody's like, oh.
Yeah. But hey, you actually manifested the person that you wanted to portray you in your movie because Kenny was actually in here. I don't know
No
if you
way.
saw. Kenny actually came in. Yeah.
Man.
So when I tell you that this CQ fan moves fast.
Man, I did not.
I don't know if someone sent him the video or but he was in here.
Man, now I got to find a way to block out some time on Wingstop Wednesday to finally go in and officially meet the brother and be on the other side of the live, not just in the feed. So
yeah, now he's probably like, you owe me. So if you want me to play your movie, I need to see you on my live.
Sorry, I'm trying to get. Okay, there we go. Can everybody see me all right? I got a new toy like today, the ring lights. I'm like, oh gosh, man. Okay, so yeah, I'll buy one.
Oh yeah, those ring lights are amazing. I have one for my phone.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get the ones that stand up behind your camera. So if you get a professional camera, it stands up behind you.
Oh.
Because those ones, I mean, it's just everything is illuminated. But these ones are like, it's okay. I got it from Target. It does the job.
Same here.
Yeah. But especially as we're moving into this Zoom age of interviews and things like that, it really helps.
And I was reluctant. I was reluctant to get an IG account. I was reluctant to go on live. I got to give Megs, my sister, the props on that because she's like, all right, you're. I'm like, what do I do? And to go on a live, and then when we were me and Sierra and Kai and Sightgiver were in DC, and like that was my first time doing a live, so. I'm slowly coming along. I got this ring light. So, yeah, me being a designer, I'm already like, I don't like the material. The base is, So, anyway, but I'll let you continue, or we wait for a couple of everybody else to pop on. And
we'll wait for a few more people because they're coming in and waving. And so if you see me going like this, it's because I'm pressing the wave button to them. Yeah.
Well, while we're doing it, I can actually kind of scroll and look through my bifocals because, I remember when these were snuck up on me or snuck up on me. It was like the eye doctor, yearly exams, like, here, try these. And then, all right, so what do you think? And I'm like, yeah, all right. And he's like, well, those are bifocals. I'm like, what do you mean?
Oh, man.
I'm too young to have bifocals. Like, no, he's like, you too old not to have bifocals. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, I got you. Christina.
Yeah, Sarah's
don't
in here.
Drink. Yeah, I see her.
Spunky librarian.
News junkie, Maddie's M3.
I saw Plush was in here too earlier too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Humbling that we all can come together focused initially on music, and thank God for D Nice, Derek, for being authentic and just sharing truly his love of music. And that's what kind of brought all of us like-minded spirits together, and we're able to pour life and love into all of the people that have connected in CQ. So
it's just, I'm still in disbelief as to how everyone was able to just come together. I just remember really just having my phone was just getting those text messages from telemarketers or whatever,
right.
Or maybe my alarm ringing. Like, I really wasn't on my phone like that. Now that CQ came into my life, It's like I'm getting all these back calls from like 10, 15 lives at the same time. We joke about it all the time about the different devices and stuff. People having like 10 devices on different lives. Oh man.
I'm not there yet. I'm not
Yeah,
there yet.
I have two. That's what I'm working with. I'm not part of the VIP yet. I got my phone and my MacBook.
Well, I would use my small iPad, but I'm going to get rid of this. But anybody who knows me knows my youngest Xavier. He's full of spirit, and yeah, he's the one who did that to my.
Yeah.
So it's just been sitting over. Like, like I could do two devices if I knew how and if that worked. But anyway, so
do they have? I know they have the tempered glass protectors for phones, but they have it for iPad.
that was with the yeah that's
man. Sorry, that must have been a very like high altitude drop because
no,
those things are usually pretty good.
No, that's an 8-year-old drop. So.
8-year-old. Yeah,
Yeah,
those are the most lethal.
yeah. Yeah. I'm blessed that out of anything, I know we're gonna get back into talking business and life and everything, but all of that pales in comparison to being a dad to me, and the quite frankly and bluntly the crap that I've had to go through to be their father, all three, and by the grace of God, it's more so with my two older boys. And I just hope that as they get older, they recognize that, out of everything, my dad really loves me.
Right.
And I've driven, which baffles me. When I lived in Iowa, so my two older boys are in Fort Wayne, Indiana. My youngest son um, lived in Flint, which anybody who knows, before it became national news with the water, we knew about it here in Michigan, and that was something special. But I bring that up because my kids and how much I love them beyond design or anything. All this can go away. But when I lived I'd drive from Iowa to Indiana, Michigan, through the blizzard, literally, to be with my kids. So that's what it baffles me and frustrates me to no end when I hear of dads who aren't being dads, who like, dude, you live in the same neighborhood as your son, and you're not going to go across, like, literally because, oh well, his mother was late by 10 minutes bringing him to my house, so peace out. And like, dude, what are you doing? If my kids were on the moon, I'd figure out a way to get there, especially as a father. So, but hopefully as the business grows, they will say, "Oh, maybe we could do Minecraft shirts," or whatever the kids, and then I'll go live on a beach somewhere, or I should say we will go live on a beach somewhere. So
yeah, this beach was paid for by you guys' idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think more than anything, just your presence as a father is so important.
Yeah.
And as a parent in general, because kids are not really going to remember the material things. They're going to remember whether or not their parents were there. God willing, they were both alive and well for them.
Yeah.
There's nothing more painful than them not being there and them having the ability to do so. So props to you.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's not, it's just, I hate to say it is what because that phrase is forever etched in my mind with Agent Orange in the White House. But I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do, to be the dad that they need me to be. That comes before anybody and anything else, period. So,
yeah.
But anyway, I know you didn't, you guys didn't like log in to see, deep thoughts with Bryan on fatherhood. No.
Yeah. I mean, hey, this show goes there. It goes there emotionally, and also we have our fun time. So
yeah,
it's just being real. This is being family. So So
Yeah.
yeah, we were talking about your art school experience and how you missed that scholarship, and they were kind of
Yeah.
aggy about that because they didn't hear from
Well,
you.
that was on me. And that I use that as a life lesson that I share with anyone that, hey, especially young people, because I was just young and just like, or whatever. And then it's like, all right, crap. What is your plan? All right, you got to come up with something. How bad do you want it? How hungry are you? Especially fast forward, when I went through that experience, um, how hungry are you? Fast forward from art school, from having to start all over in art school, and then when I got sick in art school, and the art school is a 4-year program, so then it was like, okay, I got to extend this to what I call the super senior plan in 5 years. And so I remember I was my third year at art school here in Detroit, and that was fifth year overall in college because I did 2 years at Kent State. And my grandmother, God bless her soul, anybody knows who was on the Kathy family room. No, I spoke
I
of
know this.
my not Big Mama,
Okay, okay, okay.
but
The
not the
other
moon, yeah, not the moonshine runner, but my dad's mom, my grandmother, or the other educator. So I'm the first grandchild on that side of the family. So the first out of the cousins, the immediate direct cousins. And education is important, and it's been ingrained in our DNA as a family. A couple of things: education, serve your fellow man, uh, civic minded. So when it came to my fifth year of college overall, the third at CCS, I remember my grandmother was calling because she was sending me money, just like any other family member could, to help get me through. And she's like, "So you're supposed to be graduating, right? Fifth." It's like, "No, grandmommy. I had to start over." And she was like, "Well, she was like, you plan on graduating before I die?" And I was
Oh
like,
man.
"Man, that's kind of cold." But yeah, so I was on the super senior plan, and eventually graduated, and got my degree, and got my degree. But it's not so much the degree. It's like anybody goes to university. It's what you gain throughout that experience. So what I gained from that is, how bad did I want it? When I got sick in school, and my instructors, when my instructors found out, and they're like, you know what, dude, you can take some time off and go home and recover, and because I fortunately it fortunately it wasn't the test came back and it wasn't cancer,
Mm,
so
okay.
that
Thank
I'm
God.
thankful for. But in my early 20s, I learned that, oh, men, it's not as publicized, but men can have breast cancer,
Hmm.
and so it was a very, I call it near death. Maybe we could call it a brush, like a little side swipe, but it scared the crap out of me. And I could have stopped in, but I'm like, how bad do I want this? And that's what, how bad do you want your business to succeed? I had an instructor tell me when I got tired, and like we had to do 10 sketches and I only put up 8. And he's like, well, you know what? Okay, fine. You live with that excuse. But you know what? Your competitors, who are your classmates, I'm telling you, one of them or all of them, when you're tired, they're working.
Mm,
So how bad do you want it?
mm.
And so how hungry are you? How much do you want to eat? How badly? And that's something I I don't know if that's been it's just something that's been ingrained in me,
Right.
and that goes into my business and into my life and into how I work, and a lot of it is not because of any monetary value. I've been on food stamps. I've given blood plasma to get through the dark times. So I'm keeping it real with y'all. I material things. I like my watch collection can probably rival department store. It's bad, and this is probably gonna make me sound bougie, but you know it's bad when you got so many watches that you can't fit them all in your watch case. And
Oh
forgive me if I
man.
said so. Yeah. but but my thing is, how bad do I want it? I love what I do, even in the dark times. It's like, dude, I don't, yeah, I love what I do. So how hungry are people? How hungry do you want that degree? Or how bad do you want that degree? How hungry are you to achieve that? And what did I hear sometimes? Uh, if your dream is achievable, then your dream is too small.
Mm, that's
So,
smart.
I got some big dreams. I had I had a conversation Saturday about one of my dreams, um, with some, some investors. Well, just some African Americans who have some financial. It's not like they're celebrities, but some people I know and trust that have money, and every now and then I'm like, oh, damn, you are wealthy.
Slide some over
And
here though.
yeah, sir, because I don't, I don't know them
Right.
for that. But it's like, all right, what's it going to take to achieve one of these big dreams that's beyond apparel? This is, I pour my heart in anything, but I take, and they gave me a look. Oh, okay. I'm like, oh, whew, man, that big dream that I didn't think was achievable. Now I got to get something even bigger than that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, yeah,
You know, it's funny because they say that you'll only go as far as you'll let your mind wander. I heard that somewhere. And it's
yeah,
all about the power of visualization. Like, as soon as you tell yourself you can't do something, that's it. Your dreams are halted.
yeah,
But sometimes I think we make the mistake of waiting for everything to be perfect before we go for it. And like you said, you kind of just have to work like someone else wants it more than you because someone else does want it more than you. And just
yeah,
like your teacher said, someone's going to say, I don't care. I have one arm, one eye, half my head's off.
yeah,
And as long as I'm going to be able to achieve this because I'm still working, I'm up when
yeah,
everyone's sleeping, you
yeah,
know, we have to push ourselves harder to get what we want in life. And it kind of makes the journey sweeter, right? Because you can
yeah.
reflect on all those things, all those trials that you went through, and be like, this is what I had to get to in order to get my dream. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I, I just find I'm late to the party on the Chicago Bulls documentary, The Last Dance, that was on earlier on so I just finished watching that on Netflix, and something that Jordan said to his teammates at some point during that series, documentary series, when they were just practicing shooting around, and they were doing from the sideline half court, just practice shots, lobbing them up, and everybody's missing, and he came in, boom, dropped it, and everybody's like, dude, what? And he was like, somebody, they kept missing. Somebody said, well, gosh, I think about, he's like, why would I think about why would I think about the shots that I may miss? I don't think he didn't think about that. He's just thinking, I'm making that shot.
Right.
That was his mentality. So that's what uh that mentality is something that I think we all have to try to condition ourselves to, you know, be like that. Maybe not cutthroat. I don't believe in like cutting anybody down to get where you are. Eventually, that stuff will come back on you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and this is my soft political vote pitch, but because look at Agent Orange in the White House, all that dirt's gonna, how many people has he cut off to get where he is? That's an example of, there are plenty of successful people who have challenged themselves to achieve their dreams and have done it with a sense of dignity and of morals.
Right.
And you can go further in that. I'm like,
You will,
yeah,
because one thing about people is they'll always remember how you treated them.
right,
So
right,
I think that along the way, if you treat people with respect and they feel as though you're someone who values integrity, it's only going to
yeah,
take you
yeah,
further.
Right, right. And that's the one. I hear my 8-year-old up there, so bouncing around. With I got to take care of this ceiling and eventually get it insulated. But integrity, that goes a long way, especially when it comes to business. That speaks volumes. My thing to any, like, when it comes to my apparel and where I've been asked for prints of the art prints, and I said, yeah, that's coming, but my anally retentive nature, I want to make sure it's quality. So and then in this COVID environment, trying to source people to do that, to do my art prints. That's taken a while, but to the point of integrity and in business and in your life, the cliche is, treat people how you want to be treated, right? If you're a small business, especially, I feel like don't worry about the money. If that's your driver, then we really need to talk. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. Like, we all need, money, and you make sure you want to sell things at a profit. But if there is a customer who is not satisfied, do what you can to work with them. Because to me, in my opinion, um, anyone who is buying one of our shirts that I've designed, to me, yeah, you're a customer, but you're my family now. And so I take that serious. So, like, if anybody's like, yo, man, I really wasn't happy with such and such. Okay, let me know. Let us know. And let's try to see what we can to make you happy. Integrity, and the better person you are in business, I feel like that makes you a better person in your personal dealings, and vice versa. You know, that's
Oh yeah.
that's not mine, by the way. I want to make sure I give credit, but it's kind of a takeoff of I'm a history buff and a wide range of other topics, but this general during the Vietnam conflict in the late 60s, um, uh, he was portrayed by Mel Gibson in the movie We Were Soldiers. And there's a line in there that he says to one of his young soldiers that I went and researched. And the general actually told this young soldier he was commanding this, who had just became a father, and they were being shipped off to Vietnam. And he was trying to reconcile, they were in a church. He's trying to reconcile, I just brought, this is my first child, I just brought life into the world, but yet I'm going to take life. And
Hmm.
he's like, as my job as a soldier, how do I reconcile that? And the general, and I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he said, I hope being good in one area will help me to be better in another. And he didn't say which.
Hmm.
So he left it up to the soldier to figure out. So I kind of,
Wow.
that's always been in the back of my mind as far as integrity as a man, as a black man, as a business owner, as a professional, the business life, professional life, and the personal life. Hopefully, me being the best I can in one of those areas will make me better in the other.
I think that's a
So,
word to the wise for sure, because it I think that who you are definitely bleeds into what your business will become.
yeah,
You can't encounter somebody who's a horrible person and having a great business, because they may be on a good run for a while, but something's gonna catch up where
yeah,
there's
yeah,
gonna be like a disgruntled employee that's like, hey, I have a tell-all book about how this guy is a crap boss and blah 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 blah. So it will catch up. It will.
yeah. Or how somebody had to pay $130,000 to keep. Ooh, wait. Oh, all right. It's not that show. My bad. You just, anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. So my
It
fault.
seems like, oh, no problem. It seems like you got another question. Oh, just a
Oh,
comment. Someone said, I love your story and your passion, Brian. Nissan would love to have you.
oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Nissan was actually the first uh, car, car that I had bought my, or no, the second car, I should be specific, that ran. Like the first car that I actually bought on my own. Whew, boy, that's a story. But it tried to kill me.
Oh
Uh,
man.
in the sense, like, I didn't come from a rich family. Most people, your first car is probably not the best. And so, I remember when I got to Detroit and in Cleveland, Cleveland has a pretty good public transportation system. So, we had a family car my dad would let me drive, and I would drag race. I hope he's not on here, but but I would drag race in that thing, this big boat. But anyway, got to Detroit, realized I need a car, and not rich, so I busted my ass that first year, trying to earn every single penny I could. Bought this jalopy, and it barely ran. And ultimately, I did buy a Nissan. My dad helped me. He was proud of me for the hard work I put in. But I sold that old, ironically, it was a Pontiac. So I sold that for junk to this maintenance guy at the school. And he comes back like a couple of days later. He's like, "Hey, man, we're tearing down your car. And did you know that there was a hole in your floor underneath the seat, the driver's seat?" Right, and then underneath that, there's a hole in the exhaust. So I'm driving, and
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
no wonder I'm so mellow. Just, whew,
You thought you were just
man,
styling.
yeah,
That was God keeping you up.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, Nissan would love to have me. Yeah, I would entertain Nissan. Yeah,
Wow.
but man, yeah, life stories. But
Yeah.
yeah, anyway,
And
sorry,
speaking of life stories, that's a good segue into my next question, because I was going to ask you if there were any lessons that you learned while growing up that have enabled you to forge ahead in accomplishing all that you have.
yeah, lessons and observations, and some lessons I didn't realize they were lessons at the time. Like it wasn't like, oh yeah, A, then do B, and then do C. But lessons and observations. One, going back, like I mentioned, like I was born in Alabama in the South and raised in Alabama and Tennessee because my dad's from Tennessee and mom's from Alabama, and we went back and forth between those two before my dad came back from Vietnam, and then eventually we moved up to Cleveland. One of the things I learned by observation is whatever it is I'm going through, it pales in comparison to what my ancestors went through.
Hmm.
As I look at Now, I look at my mom, and uh, on a lighter, well, on a lighter note, I mentioned how my mom's side of the family was the moonshine runners, and that's how my mom went to college, uh, and she broke the cycle of being, a low wage family. She wanted to break that cycle. She pursued her dream.
Hmm.
So I didn't know it at the time I was learning this, but looking back, hard work and what she had to overcome, not just as a woman of color. You're talking late 60s, early 70s, a black woman wanting to be an architect. And then, and the older I get, I look at my mom, or I should say our mom, because I didn't say it, but I did see my sister pop on here. So I did see you. And so hopefully she won't clown. But the lesson I learned growing up is whatever hardship I'm going through pales in comparison to what um, my mother probably went through, what my ancestors gone through, uh, being a child of the South and then having lived around the world and then back here and seeing that good character goes far.
Hmm.
Good character goes far. You may not see it at the time. You may take a hit, But that speaks. Sorry, I'm getting emotional because I think of, the sacrifices that my mom made for me. I was a latchkey kid because my mom and dad were they were young parents, and then when we did move up to Cleveland before my brother and sister were born. Here's a lighter note because I can't be too serious all the time, but I swear to God, I cannot prove this. And I told my sister and I talked about this. I was like, I can't prove this, but I swear to God, I think my parents, after I was asleep one time in the 70s, went out to a disco and left me in the house
Oh
because
God.
the next morning we were lightweight spiritual, so we didn't attend church all the time because the next morning was a Sunday morning, and my mom was in there making breakfast in a glittery thing. My dad had on his John Travolta suit. I'm
Right.
thinking, what is? So yeah, so I can't prove it, but those I'm telling you, those cats they were at a club, but they were always gone working, and so that showed me hard work, but that also made me um, realize what is important because when my brother came along, we're there's pretty big age gap. And then my sister came along. My mom put aside her career, which unfortunately a lot of women wind up doing, which that really gets me. But she put aside her career to raise all of us and to be there. And I know if you have siblings, um, everybody's relationship with their parents is different. So like me and my history with my parents is different than the one that my brother and sister had. But I can say what I learned growing up that carries me through is anything that you have in front of you pales in comparison to what I'm sorry, what your ancestors have gone through. You think, especially as a person of color, and we're doing our family tree. Well, my sister's been doing that. My sister, aunt, some family members been doing that for years. My one aunt started long. Oh boy, she put us. Oh boy, I'm not gonna. But I think if I'm not mistaken, our aunt and my sister were able to backtrace the white side of our family all the way back to the 1600s or
Mhm.
1400s, back to, I think it was Ireland,
Oh wow.
if I'm not mistaken. Contrast that to the black side of our family, where I get my last name, Young, and that stops at, slavery.
Mm.
And so I think, like, wow, my name is not my name. And I think, like, um, seriously, this stuff I think about, and my sister's on here, and I know she's the hardcore. I'm probably too emotional, but seriously, this is the stuff I think about, and I think part of it comes from nearly dying 3 times in my life, to be blunt. And so I look back on the lessons I've learned watching my mother and father, watching and listening to, like, when my mom shared, she shared this with me recently, and it went back. My memory went back, like when she marched with Martin Luther King back in the '60s,
Mm.
because Anniston, Alabama, where I was born and where uh, that side of the family hails from, it's only a stone throw away from Birmingham,
Oh wow. Okay.
and so Anniston is where John Lewis and the fellow Freedom Riders, uh, where their bus was firebombed. Um, so you guys looked that history up. So I looked. It was, being a person of action. You had to do that. That wasn't an option. And I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to sit up here and, bitch and moan about, oh man, I lost out on that contract that I bid for. Oh man, oh gosh, what does that mean? Oh well, you know what? At least I have a little more than what my ancestors went through. So
Right.
to me, and whatever family history you come from, just think about what others, what groundwork others laid for you to be where you're at, and then put that in contact in context to what you're going through. And I think you'll realize, you know what, not making light of any obstacles, but to me, it gives you phone. So I guess
Oh,
we got 20 more percent.
okay. Yeah, let me
And
know when
yeah,
when you have to
so
end.
yeah, so yeah, there's that answer for you. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I just yeah, that one touches me. So sorry, yeah, because I think I not only think of my life lessons that I've learned and observed, but what life lessons and observations am I giving to my children?
Right.
And again, I go back to, as a man, as a black man, as a brother, as a husband, brother, father, cousin, son, friend, as a friend. So yeah, yeah.
You know, what you were saying about ancestors reminded me of this statement that was coming out earlier on in the Black Lives Matter protest this year, where there was a lot of, I guess you would call them Gen Z people,
Hmm.
saying, we are not our ancestors. And they were saying it almost like we're going to be more serious than them. And I was like, what? They went through so much more than you're going through now. They actually, that fight that you have in your blood right now comes from them. So
Yeah.
yeah, that comes from them. You know, they didn't have the luxury of being able to record police brutality. They went through that in
Yeah.
silence, and then they had to
Yeah.
fight without anyone saying, "Oh yeah, you're right. This was recorded." Like, no, they had to fight for
Yeah.
everything that we have today. So when I hear that, and I'm sure I'm not speaking for all Gen Z people. I know that there are
Hmm.
some Gen Z people, millennial people, who do respect the fight that their ancestors have forged before them.
Yeah.
But the minority, I'll say, who felt as though they were doing much more, no. I would say we're rather building on what's already been established by them. And
Yeah.
if they had to live back then, not even during segregation, but during slavery,
Mm-mm.
a lot of them wouldn't even survive a day.
You know what
So,
I would do? I'm like, you wouldn't do. No, you'd be picking that cotton or dead.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
But yeah, don't get, yeah, that, especially on that, when we went to DC, and if Sierra or Kai or Shaka are on here, they will tell you that there, okay, there's humidity, and then there's heat, and then there's hot, and then there's goddamn, excuse my language. And I'm sitting, and we were like, yo, man, our ancestors who fought for through the civil rights movement, these cats drove here in cars with no air conditioning, and ooh wee. So who am I to complain?
Right.
It was hot. So we I venture, I don't know, my 2 cents worth on that is, give everybody everybody needs some grace.
Right.
Everybody needs grace to eventually get to a point of, oh, you know what? I am standing on the shoulders of my ancestors. So, yeah, give these young people grace.
Yes. Yes. Grace,
And
humility.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. And then in terms of people wanting to create their own business or wanting to even go into design, what advice would you give to them to prepare themselves for those journeys?
Uh, for those that want to go into design and go into business, whatever it may be, I guess the same thing I'm about to say applies to design and business in general. Believe in yourself. It's such a cliche, but dude, I didn't. I, I got some shirts here I was going to show like as near the end so I can share with some people out there. But I'm looking at these and I'm thinking like, wow, the manifestation of an idea that was a spark that then became a flame and then believe in yourself. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that everything is going to be all rainbows and roses and gummy bears, but you know what? There may be a Sour Patch Kid in there, but weed them out. But keep going. Don't don't quit. Don't
Right.
quit. And don't let something as severe as like getting nearly killed in a motorcycle accident, like with me, where I kind of take that as like God saying, all right, you need to stay in design. This is what I've built you for, and follow your dream. Um, Surround yourself with a team that you trust, a team that won't sugarcoat anything, a team that you can butt heads with and still be okay. And that saying that if you're the smartest one in the room, you need a bigger room. You need to leave that room.
Yeah.
And as far as design, well, I guess the same thing. Me, I'm a designer, so if anybody who has an idea for creativity, because to me, I consider myself like a creative. Not, yeah, I'm a designer, but I don't do music or anything like that. But I have an ear for it because whenever I'm creating, I'm listening to music. But for anybody who wants to start their own business, just start. Don't wait. Just start. And I don't want to hear anything about, well, John Doe is like, nah, don't look at John Doe or Jane Doe. Look at you. You are your only you. I'm not the only cat in town that designs. I'm not the only cat in town that makes uh, shirts and designs them, but I am me. So you are you. So if anybody, hell, if you got an idea for, what was I watching the other day? An old episode of Girlfriends, and they were they were like, did she give? It was a Christmas one of I can't remember what season, the Christmas episode, and Joan gave was like, do we have cell phone socks? Like what? And I'm like, if that's your thing, if you want to bring cell phone socks back, if you want to bring polyester suits back. And if that's your dream, I don't know if I could rock it. That could be kind of scratchy. But, if that's your thing, believe in yourself. Because
Right.
sure as hell, there's enough people out there who won't be believing in you. So as long as you believe in yourself, you're going to have moments of, uh, doubt. I still do. And I feel like I'm halfway decent as a designer, but I still look around like, oh man, that cat over there, wow. But there's somebody else looking at me going, wow.
Exactly.
So the same thing for business, regardless of whatever it is. So yeah, that would be my 2 cents worth, or my, I don't know, feel like a TED talk. No, that
And
would be
that's my
my
TED talk.
yeah, and that's my TED talk I'm out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mic drop. No, I think that's really important what you said about one, believing in yourself, two, not really paying attention to anyone else on either side of you, because
yeah,
you have your path and you have what makes you you, and you're unique in your own way. So
yeah,
sometimes people will try what someone else is doing to get to their destination, and obviously that's not going to work because it's not on your path.
right,
So you have to stick to your path no matter what ups and downs you have. And like you said, there's going to be plenty of people telling you, oh, that's not a good idea, I wouldn't buy that. Like, hence Testimony Tuesdays. I had this idea last year as a podcast, and I made a poll in my story, and I said, would you guys be interested in a podcast talking about, people's testimonies? And I don't know if people knew that it was not anonymous, but certain people I thought were really like, ride or die were like, no, no, you shouldn't make a
mm,
podcast. And I was like, wow, okay. So come around this time in the pandemic, the response has been insane. I mean, I mentioned
Oh,
it every week until
yeah,
December 22nd. Someone's coming on the show because they want to share something, and there's a need to put their products or their stories out there. So,
yeah,
like you said, there's even if there's one person watching, someone's benefiting from this.
you,
Someone's going back to
yeah.
the lives and watching this and getting inspired by your story, by all the other stories that have been on here. So you kind of just have to do it. You don't need anyone's permission to start your business or start an idea.
You're an adult. That's what.
You don't need to ask them for
Like,
permission. Just do it.
can I have an idea? Dude, do it. I'm telling you, one when I okay, so this was years and years ago. But when I remember when I one piece of advice my one of my aunts told me when I turned 40. And I don't know if my sister's still on here or not, but our aunt Linda or Sam, don't ask, in our family. I'm like, do y'all got warrants? Because why do all my aunts have like two, three different names that they've gone by their whole life? But my aunt Sam uh, gave me some advice. I think it was Sam. I've got a lot of aunts. I was raised by women, and she was so I had turned 40, and she was like, "All right, nephew, this is halftime. We're big sports people in the family. This is halftime. What are you going to do with the when you come out the locker room going into the other half of your life?" And so, regardless of you can't go back. Like we all have seen football, basketball. I mean, there's no real halftime in baseball, but at a halfway point, a coach is looking at the team. All right, look, we down. We That's it. We can't go back and undo that. What are we going to do with the other half of this game? What are you
Right.
going to do with the other half of your life? And that's something that stuck with me. Like, so meaning if you got a business idea, do gosh, that just that you I'm pretty mellow, but you want to. I guess I have this twitch when I get really agitated. Like, you really want to see my neck twitch is, oh man, you got a great idea. Yeah, okay, how long have you had that? Oh, about 7 years. What are you doing? What are you
Mm,
doing? They what I think Kathy told me, she actually schooled me on where this saying came from, but some of the richest places are the cemeteries
right.
because of all the ideas, all the dreams, all the businesses, all the books, all of the podcasts, all of the lives, all of all of the gifts that God has put into each and every one of us that people couldn't I'm mixing analogies. People couldn't get the car out of park and just
Right.
start moving. I'm not saying speak, just move a little. And you know what?
Exactly.
Your authenticity will show and people will start to help your car move to a point where no, I can't stop. Like, for example, and I know I said I got a couple of here. Let me. Well, for I can't stop with the clothing now, even if I wanted to, because I had a moment where I was like a little baby, like, oh my God, how? Don't tell me how many orders are coming through. I don't want to know. Let me just focus on creating other designs because I was like, man, maybe we shouldn't and we've been planning this for months. This is a
Mm,
relaunch.
yeah.
We did this years before, and so I'm like, if you get the right people behind you that believe in you, that love you, they will push you in a healthy way where it's like, oh, okay, I'm not feeling the greatest about this right now, but my family, you, everyone, our CQ are helping me, and in turn I'm going to pour into it's like a positive self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right.
And so that's what yeah, sorry, long answer, but that really gooses me when people have ideas. True, you may not know how to start them. Go to SBA, Small Business, was it Association, if I'm not mistaken? I did that years ago,
Mm,
getting some mentorship and advice. Get a mentor. I have no problem being a mentor. I don't know what y'all think I can share, but I'll keep it real with you. And I've got life mentors. I've got um, that was the 10% mark on my phone. So I'll just leave it at that and just yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's all great advice. Just the first step is to take the first step. Like, get moving and don't just let the idea marinate for years. Just put it out in chunks if you have to, but just put
Do
it out.
just little, what are you okay, like was it last year for my birthday? Uh I had a huge, yeah, pre-COVID. So we went out to a restaurant and I look around, I'm like, holy crap, wow. My friends came up from Cleveland and friends from around Detroit, my sister, and I had this huge steak. I'm pretty healthy, uh, but I love steak. I'm sorry. It's my concept of vegetarianism is how much more meat can I put on my salad. So, but so anyway, how do you eat a big steak or an elephant? Just one bite at a time. Just take one little step, whatever it may be. So yeah, guys, come on. Like, do not. Oh God, I do not want to be at the tail end of this life that I got. Like, oh, oh man, oh well, that idea. Not all of them may be good. Some may fail, but keep going.
Exactly. You don't
So
want to be a shoulda, coulda, woulda.
yeah,
You just want to have, here's what I did.
yeah,
And
yeah,
know you have a little something that you wanted to preview, right?
yeah. I saw when we had to switch over. I got, I had like, what do you wear? What do you wear? And so yesterday I was talking with Christina and Silver, and they kind of, and I was like, just stay tuned, because Silver's like, yeah, I really like I'm sorry, the general, but I don't really like red. If it only came in black, and I was like, just stay tuned. So and fine, because I have to say, COVID is impacting my business. I'm not the only one. I was talking with Virginia Blue. She's having the same thing as well. COVID is impacting supplies, and then Agent Orange is not helping with messing with the postal service.
Hmm.
But so let me see if I can turn this
Ooh, that
light up.
black and gold.
So
Yes.
yeah, and this is, we just got this one in, and I was like, well, this is a reject, and you guys probably can't see it, but my eye, it's kind of off center. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just rock it so you guys can at least see.
I love that.
So yeah, this is one. So this is, and I've got obviously my the one that's still out now. So red, we're gonna do in black, and then the Genius that we unveiled on Friday. Obviously, everybody has seen.
I love that
Oh,
shade of blue.
yeah, but where's so yeah, so now she'll be. Oh, forgive me, guys. She'll
Oh my
be in
God, that's
black,
beautiful.
and so and like on the sweatshirts, I don't know if I got to check to see if it's on the site, but like on the sweatshirts, um, like the Black Panther, excuse me, the King Panther shirts. I can't call them black, but on the long sleeve, on the hoodies, the title will be on the left sleeve. So, and my thought process behind that is that I'm a gearhead, I'm a car guy, car designer. So I'm thinking, if you're driving, if you're sitting at a light and you got your window down, somebody's going to see. So like,
Flex a little bit,
yeah. So the general's going to have, the general, and the other. So we're going to put up I guess it's not so much of a teaser or a sneak peek photo, but if you guys haven't figured out how we do it, like Wednesday, usually the artwork goes up on the website for the upcoming launch of whatever design. But so the artwork for both of these will be up tomorrow night, and then these are going to go up on the site on Friday. Both of these, they'll just be additions to the existing. There won't be a separate, page on them. And then
right?
so that was like the big announcement, one. And then two, I know I told you, but I didn't tell you this one because we were still literally working it out with the team up until before I went on today. And so what we're going to do, usually we're going to have 2 weeks and then go on to the next design. Part of that was because of the logistics, like I was sharing with supply and COVID and everything. But the General and the Genius, those are gonna run until early December at the shortest. We may have them run for the rest of the year, and just keep those both black and red. And I think red I'll just both black and red will run of the Genius, or excuse me, of the General, and the black and blue of the Genius. And then the
Nice.
other designs are going to come online as well. And then we're going to be turning some of my automotive artwork and the my late night sketches that
Right.
I've been doing. Those are going to be going on apparel as well. Because I'm humbled that a lot of you guys have been like, dude, these are hot, but I want to see your car sketches on a shirt. And I'm like, the ones that I'm like at
Look
3
at
in
the
the
people
morning,
doing
kind
the
of
work.
like,
The people are doing the work for you.
yeah,
Like, this is your next design.
yeah, like all right, so yeah, so you guys don't. I've had people like, man, you draining my wallet. You can't get. I'm like, okay, and then it's the short time. Like, all right, so we've
Yeah.
adjusted. And I forgot the third thing. Originally it was supposed to be two, but the third thing was that Black Panther may come back. We got to figure out, or excuse me, King Panther and Queen Panther may come back closer to Thanksgiving, so around the Black Friday time. But we got to finalize some stuff with that. So.
Oh, perfect. So you guys all heard it first here.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
just expand that comment in the bottom to access his website.
Yeah.
And make sure you cop all the new merchandise because it's hot. And you saw the new one, black and gold. We got blue and gold. We got red and gold. So we are.
I feel like we're selling used cars. Come
Yeah.
on down to Bryan's design warehouse.
Yeah. So I know Instagram is gonna give us the boot soon, but Bryan, it's been such a pleasure just sharing wisdom and picking up some knowledge from you about the design industry and just life lessons, and it's just, we're family, so it's just been a great time here. And anything you want to leave the people with before they shut us down? Always bet on black. Yes. Bet on black. You guys can't see this here, but bet on black. But for sure.
I just love, and I'm humble. Who I am here is who you guys see me commenting when I am in any chats or anything. So I'm just me, and I have no ulterior motive. Good people attract good people.
Yes.
So be authentic and pure. I saw my sister Arzo pop on here. Man. So good people attract good people, and go do a random act of kindness tomorrow.
Yes.
Listen to that little being of do something. I've done that, and I continue to do that. On some things, I'll just keep to myself. But I felt like God spoke to me years ago on a random act of kindness that I was fighting against, and He made me stop. And I've been doing it ever since. And these people are none the wiser. They're just like, oh, thank you. Okay. So, why did my voice go up like I hit puberty? Oh,
oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing your new designs with us and all these tips on how to just be a better person in general in life. And you guys can catch us back here next week on Testimony Tuesdays for our next guest. But Bryan, it's been an honor. Thank you for your time tonight. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And I will be posting this. This will be on my IGTV as well as YouTube. So keep tuning in each week for new stories from all our family, and hope you all have a great and peaceful evening and rest of your week. All right. And go out and vote. Guys.
Yes. Don't boo. Vote.
Don't boo. Vote. You heard it here.
All right. Love you, sis.
Love you, bro. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.